Okay, a problem-solving question for finding the area and perimeter of a compound shape made out of two rectangles. The first thing we need to do in a question like this is to work out any missing sides, and that's my first thing I'm going to do. So, I've got this side, this side, this side, and this side. I need to work out that side, and I need to work out this side. I'm going to start off with this side, because that's the easiest one for me to start off with. Okay. So, that length there is the 1.5 bit there. Take away this length here. So that length there is 1.5, take away 3/4. That leaves me with that side length. Now you may know already that that must leave 3/4. Or if you weren't sure about that, you can convert to from a mixed number to an improper fraction, one of your key skills, and take it away. I've done kind of two steps in one there. I've changed it into quarters and converted it into a mixed fraction, so I've kind of shortcutted it a little bit. And the answer therefore is 3/4. So this side length here is 3/4. Now the other side length I need to find out is this one. And that one must be this 2 7/8, which is this length up to here, plus the 1/4 here. That will make up that length there. So that length there, you know, I'm going to use algebra. I'm going to call that A, so that I just from the space perspective. So I'm going to say that A equals 2 7/8 plus 1/4. I'm going to change that quarter into eighths to help me do this. So that is equal to 2 7/8 plus 2/8, which is 3 wholes and 1/8. Yeah? If I add one more eighth, I'm up at 3 wholes and I've got one more eighth left. So this side length here is 3 1/8. Okay. So now I've got enough information to start tackling the problem. I've found the missing sides. That's always your first thing to do. Okay. So my next move, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and try to get the focus right. Okay. So my next move here is to find the area. So I'm going to do that here, area. So I've got two parts to the area. I've got the area of my big rectangle and the area of the smaller rectangle. That area of the big rectangle is this bit. Okay, I'm just going to draw a little diagram for it. It's 3 1/8, and this side length is 3/4. Okay. So what I've got here is, for area of a rectangle, I just need to times them together. Okay, so 3 1/8 times by 3/4. That's what I've got here. So 3 1/8 times by 3/4. Can't do that yet until I think the best way for me to do this is I don't need to make the denominators the same, but I'm going to make them both into improper fractions. So how many eighths have I got in total here? I've got 8, 16, 24. I've got 25 eighths. I'm going to times that by 3/4. So that gives me 75 over 32. Right, 75 over 32 is the same as how many goes in there? 2 wholes. That's 64. Plus I've got 11 32s. And that's as far, I can't simplify that. So that's the correct area for that larger rectangle. I've now got my smaller rectangle. You see the way when you're working with this sort of problem, you just have to take it one step at a time, being really clear about what you're doing. So my other rectangle, okay, so that's the long thin one. That's the sort of portrait one, I'll call it. So that's 1/4 that way and 3/4 this way. So 1/4 by 3/4. So that is, therefore, to find the area, I'm going to do 3/4 times by 1/4, which is 3/16. So to find the area of the whole thing, I need to add those together. To add those together, I need to have the same, so the total area total area. I need to add those together. So it's 2 and 11/30 seconds plus 3/16. Well, there's an easy way to add that, and I don't need to convert that at all. I'm going to leave that as 2 and 11/30 seconds, and I'm going to add 6/30 seconds. We see that? I'm just using an equivalent fraction, making the denominator the same, but I'm going to, if I times that by 2, the top needs to be times by 2. So I've got 2 and 17 out of 32. Right, and that is my total area for the whole of that shape. Okay, so that's my total area for the whole of the shape that we've got. All of it is put together. Right. There's my answer. I'm going to underline it. Okay. Use plenty of space. Yeah, don't worry about the space. Just make sure your working out is clear. I'm going to go on to the next page. And now I've got to do the perimeter. So the perimeter is all the way around the outside, isn't it? So my perimeter is equal to this one plus 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 this one. So I'm going to write that down. So my perimeter equals 3 1/8 plus 1 1/2 plus 1/4, make sure not to miss any sides out, plus 3/4 plus 2 7/8 and plus 3/4. Just check that I've got all of them. Yeah, so I'm just going to check by counting how many sides there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have 6 different numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Happy. All right. Now, the way in which I would work this out is I would partition it into the whole number parts and the fractional parts. And I can add each up individually, and that will just make it a fraction easier for me. So I'm going to do 3 plus 1 plus 2. Those are my whole numbers. That's 6. Okay, so I'm partitioning off those bits, and now I'm going to add together all the fractional parts. Okay, so I've got 1/8 plus 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 3/4 plus 7/8 plus 3/4. Okay, so lowest common multiple for those is 8. So I'm going to put them all out of 8. So I've got 1/8. So that is equal to 1/8 plus 4/8, right? A half is 4/8 plus 2/8 plus 6/8 plus 7/8 plus 6/8. Right. How many 8s have I got? 1, 5, 6, 7, 13, 20, 26 8s. Just going to recount that just to make sure I haven't made a mistake, made a silly error. Let's recount it. 1, 5, 6, 7, 13, 20, 26. I'm happy. I've double counted it. So 26 8s, which is the same as 3 wholes and 2 8s, which is the same as 3 wholes and 1/4. So I can add those two together, right? And my perimeter will be the 6 plus the 3 1/4. So my whole perimeter equals 6 plus 3 1/4, which is 9 1/4. And I have done both the area and the perimeter of that shape, which looked tricky, and it was fairly tricky. That's about a 10-minute video for you guys to watch at home if you need to revisit any of that, and that will do.